Hey guys, some stupid sketch show guy here with another news video. Now this is the second part of the Mojo fun reveals, and we got a lot more material to talk about, and that doesn't always mean that we're going to be talking about good stuff here. So let's get into it. So first we got this little repaint thingy of a Triceratops. No, not really important at all. I don't really like the color scheme, and I think Mojo should just really take a break from Triceratopses. The Allosaurus. Now, this is definitely way more interesting. Now, the color scheme, it's not bad. It's just charcoal gray with a red crest. But the sculpt is really cheap looking. It looks like a really cheap version of, a Jurassic World Allosaurus. It's just like a 5 out of 10. Not really that good. Now, the next figure is one of the few figures that I actually kinda like, and that is the Manchurosaurus. Now, Manchurosaurus is a dinosaur I've never even heard of until this one figure was announced, so I think that's always a good example of a good figure, already knowing that they're at least trying a new dinosaur species that I've never heard of, and I think they did a decent sculpt of it. I like the golden one's coloring because of the nice black stripe on the back, and the red throat helps complement it. The more orange one has a nice chocolate back, and still looks really good. I think both color schemes are decent in their own right, and so are the sculpts, and at the same time, I'm just glad that Mojo tried something new. So, kudos to Mojo, 6 3/4 out of 10. But after that, we get back into the more mediocre stuff, like this Brachiosaurus. It's the Jurassic Park color scheme. Sure, it's an iconic color scheme, but it's not really that interesting. It's kind of boring looking. And I mean, sure, you kind of have, the little patches on the body, but it's such a mediocre sculpt, and it doesn't seem to be that big. So honestly, it just seems like a figure that, why would you buy this? Then we have the Stegosaurus, which has okay colors. I mean, the plate coloring is okay, I guess, but the main body coloring, the body sculpt, kind of just looks like a 2000s Safari Limited Kentrosaurus, which isn't good at all. Now, most of these figures are just purely mediocre and nothing special, but this next figure just pisses me off. This Rex is honestly just a blatant ripoff of the Papo Running Rex, and I know you've seen plenty of figures like this on Amazon, of bootleg Papo Running Rexes, and that's just so annoying. Why would you rip off one of the most easily rip-offable figures, of all time? That's just so freaking cheap. And as a professional figure-making company, you're gonna lose all your respect because you ripped off another company. So please, just don't ever do this again. That is a horrible idea. And the sculpt and the idea that you can just rip off the Papo sculpt as a professional company is just stupid. But at the very least, this next figure is at least a little better. This is a resculpt of their 2017 Mojo Baryonyx, and while the colors are mediocre, the posing is not nearly as good. I mean, it's definitely way more low to the ground, I guess, but then again, so was the Mojo Baryonyx from 2017 to an extent. It's an okay repainting and resculpting, but the Mojo Baryonyx from last year didn't need a resculpt because it's already a good figure, and I think this is nothing but an opposite of an improvement. So honestly, why? But luckily, to round out the field, we have two sauropods. Now this first one is a Brontosaurus, and it's mediocre at best. The tail is not good, and neither is the neck. The neck's a little too bendy for my taste, so it's kind of in a really weird pose, but I guess you could just write it off as it going for some leaves or whatever. But I don't like sideways posed necks, but I'll live with it. It's one of the more grounded when it comes to color schemes, which does make it seem a little more realistic compared to the other ones. But again, it's not really saying much, because it's still quite a goofy figure. But last and certainly not least is the Mamenchisaurus young guy. Now, there's something about this figure that makes me like it a bit more than the others. I like the long neck that's rather upright, and the fact that it's a bit more disproportionate to the body, because I think that's what Mamenchisaurus was like. Correct me in the comments if this is completely wrong. In that case, I'll just take that all back. But I do like what they did with it. It's definitely, I think, a neck that's been posed better than the PNSO Mamenchisaurus, which had a pose that would have broken its neck. Again, don't take my word on that. Just correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But I like the sculpt of this figure. It's a nice sauropod figure. I think this is probably the only figure I might have a small chance of getting, although that's a very small chance and not likely. But if I had to give a synopsis of what my overall opinions are, Mojo is definitely a mediocre company that doesn't make nearly as high quality figures as, say, Schleich or Safari Limited or Collect Day, and this is a good example of that. Quite a mediocre year for Mojo, and I've seen Mojo do way better, and yeah, I'm a little disappointed with you, Mojo, but you made a couple okay figures. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down your favorite and least favorite from this line, and see you guys next time.